Every time I think of my girl's past, it bothers me. Me and my girl have been together for 5 months now, and I truly believe that she's the right one. We are both in love with each other. However, every time I think of her past, it bothers me. It's nothing bad like sex, but she's kissed a few guys. Now, every time I think about it, it bothers me. I've talked to her about it, and I take the masculine approach of talking about how I feel instead of showing it. She tells me that I'm better than any other guy and that there's no competition. She also knows that she's made a mistake and she's completely changed. However, the thought of her past bothers me. What's the best way to get over it? This is a very interesting question because there's so many young guys who feel this. Before I give you the advice and before I read the comments, I want to say something cringe, which is make sure you go and subscribe, because when you subscribe, the channel grows. More young men will find self-improvement, this kind of mindset, and that means you're more likely to go and meet another guy like this in person. You know how lonely you've been since you've started to follow my advice and since you've gone on to self-improvement? It's been fucking hard to meet someone who's like-minded like you in real life. Well, the more men who find this kind of channel, this kind of video, the more likely you are to walk into the gym and there's a guy who asks you, hey, do you watch Hamza? Do you set goals? Oh, you buzzed your hair off too. Oh, wow. Are you delaying gratification? You meditate, you go to the gym. Wow, we should build a business together. Next year, do you want to go and live in the same apartment together and just fucking grind for the year? You're more likely to find that. So scroll down right now, go click on the subscribe button. Let's read some of the comments by Stefan. You can't change someone's past. I also used to have this problem when I was with her, and I'd always feel a stab in my heart when I'd think that she did some other shit with some other men. I was also open with her about it, which she understood that didn't help. I was insecure. Yeah, I didn't do anything with other girls before her, and she did with other men, which was bothering me, but the past is still the past and you can't change it. You can only change the future. Thinking about it will do nothing. It will make the relationship worse. It got to the point where I was seeking her validation because I was crying about it nonstop. Crying won't do anything. The thing she did was dumb. It was a hookup with a guy she met at a party. Of course, I felt bad about it. I was thinking that she would do it again. I wasn't hating on her specifically. I was hating her past actions. Think of her right now. She's with you, right? No other young man has access to her. If she really loves you, she'll be committed to you only. Let go of the past, focus on the present moment. The more you cry about it, the more likely she is to leave you for another guy. Build yourself up and make sure that doesn't happen. Hope this helps, bro. Thank you, bro. That knocked some sense into me. Damon said, normal to bother you, but it can't change you. Either deal with it and forgive her and do your best to forget it, which will happen over time, or admit it's too much for you and move on. Your choice ultimately. Carlos said, I went through a similar situation. I'll share my experiences. I was in a relationship with a girl who I initially thought was the one. That's already gonna be fucking brutal. Any guy who's experienced in dating reads this one sentence and thinks, fuck me, this is gonna hurt. We truly loved each other. However, when we discussed our past, she mentioned having sex with 2 people before me. A university classmate who I know. Fuck me. I bet you started to look into his Instagram and everything as well, because I did that shit. Initially, I didn't pay much attention to it, but over time, it became something that gradually haunted me. Negative thoughts like, how was it for her? What if she lied and did more? Started to bother me. I tried everything to accept her past, to forgive her, even change my mindset. I genuinely wanted to work, but I couldn't change how it made me feel. Despite my efforts to convince myself of her past, it became increasingly challenging to erase those thoughts from my mind. Eventually, I had to admit that I couldn't change how I felt about her past. I ended the 3-year relationship. Well, the factors played a role in this, but this was one of them. I did it because her past was unsettling to me, and despite my attempts to accept and move on, I couldn't. Today, I feel good about it. I'm genuinely more at peace, and in my case, I learned that I wouldn't commit seriously unless I'm certain I can fully accept my partner from the beginning. That's a really lovely comment by Carlos. We've got another guy, Mustafa's typing right now, but he said, we've all done things in our past that we regret or can't change. The question to ask yourself now, is the current version of her right for you and you right for her? She's changed a lot, bro. It's right for both of us, bro. Okay. So this is for David and for any young man who feels something similar to this. Let me tell you my story of when I was 19 years old. I got my first, first serious girlfriend. I had one girlfriend before that, but that was something in school, in college. But here I moved to university, And there was this girl that I was messaging over Facebook before we went to university. So this is a long time ago. This is like, honestly, what, almost 9 years ago or something now? I can't believe how much time has passed since then, man. And people use Facebook and everything, bro. And yeah, we connected over Facebook, then we started to talk and do like Skype calls and FaceTime calls like every day leading up to the point that we went into university. And I had never really done anything sexual with a girl before. I'd kissed girls on like nights out. I'd kiss like, you know, one girl here, but I never had done like, and I never had my dick sucked. I never done anything like that, right? Never mind even have sex. And I remember like I really fell hard for this girl. But even whilst we were talking, there was certain moments where, quite frankly, she was stupid enough to just slip out of like shit she had done before me. Like, this is one thing I want to say, and I want to use that insult. I know it sounds horrible to say this. It's not very like Adonis of me, or it's not very respectful. But some women are stupid in the sense that they will literally look to their current man and slip out some detail about their past man. And it's going to sound absolutely fucking crazy when I say this to you. But for me, this situation, me and this girl who I basically loved and I was falling for and I was with, me and her were on like a sexy FaceTime call, and I ended up talking about my dick size. And she was like, oh yeah, that's good. I've had bigger before. And she was trying to say it in a sexy way. But it was like she didn't realize just how fucking retarded that was, how stupid of a thing to say. And I remember like it just so happened that at that exact moment, my brother called me down and it seemed like it was important, so I had to go. And so I didn't really say anything to her. I didn't process. And then it kind of hit me afterwards. And for days, for fucking weeks, that's all I could think about was like some big dick motherfucker had piped her before, and here I am, some puny dick. Like, that's how she made me feel. And she didn't plan to. She didn't actually mean to. Girls don't mean to make their current man feel bad. It's just that many girls have genuinely low intelligence, because if you told them that you had sex with a few girls beforehand, most girls wouldn't actually mind that. They don't realize that men and women are different. If a woman says that she's had sex with a few guys before a man, any man who genuinely likes her will feel a fucking gut pain. It is as simple as that. It doesn't matter if you're high status. It doesn't matter if you fucked a lot of girls. If you genuinely like a girl, if she talks and mentions about that she's had sex before you, you will feel the gut pain. It is as simple as that. It is just biological. That's just evolution. We're supposed to feel that gut pain because it shows you, oh fuck, there's competition. Oh fuck, other guys have had her. If other guys had her in the past, they're more likely to get her right now. You know, let me tell you another story. This is from some wild, stupid girl, bro. I know I sound horrible saying stupid girl, but these are genuinely stupid women, stupid mistakes that women make. They genuinely sometimes, like a lot of women, when it comes to this particular point about like having past partners, a lot of women need like a fucking like reality check to be like, why the fuck would you ever say that to a man who likes you? Are you like, turn your fucking brain on? What the fuck is wrong with you to say something that's gonna make this guy overthink who loves you? Have some fucking decency and some fucking respect, and just say if he asks you a question or if it comes up, say something like, oh, I'm not sure if I really want to talk about that. Protect him. Why the fuck would you if there's any women watching this, why the fuck would you plant in that seed of doubt of basically looking to your man and saying, another man fucked me before you? Why the hell would you ever benefit from saying that? So keep your mouth shut. I know this sounds like aggressive, but like a lot of women haven't been told, with like, again, that shock of reality that I like to make my videos with, of like, there's basically no benefit for you to ever speak about a guy that you had before the man that you're currently with. So keep your mouth fucking shut and don't tell your current man, if you love him, do not tell him any kind of fucking details about the guys who used to dick you down. That's disgusting. To this current man, like, do you have your past? Whatever, I totally understand. This isn't even about like me and the woman who's listening to this, if this video gets sent to a woman. This is about you and wanting to become more of a classy lady. You don't look to the man who currently likes you and tell him any details about the guy who previously had you. Trust me when I say that will be the downfall of your relationship. It might not seem like it straight away, if like there's some women who are watching this who have made this stupid, I'm going to keep highlighting that fucking word, that this stupid mistake, and those women will think, oh, but you know, it seemed fine. Trust me when I say he was overthinking about it every day. He was overthinking about it every day. If you guys eventually break up, that one conversation from months ago, I promise you don't even realize it's probably at least 50% of the reason why you're going to break up, because it has just grinded on him. as men, if a guy ever asks you, I'm speaking directly to a woman right now who's made this stupid mistake. If a guy even asks you, so far as asks you a question to do with any of your past sexual partners, you don't reply. You act with respect and class, and you say something like, oh, well, I'm not sure it'd be really good to talk about that because I'm not sure if I would really want to hear those details. And, you kind of explain it to him because, you end up like thinking about it and obsessing over it. If a guy fully presses you and he's like, no, I want to know. Fair enough. That's for you to handle. But if a guy sometimes slips out and he kind of like casually asks you that question, like, oh, hey, was this the best that you've ever had as well? Don't fucking say like, no, actually some other big fucking guy fucked me with his big dick before and that was better than you. Don't say some weird shit like that. The amount of girls who've done this, right? You know why I get passionate about this shit? Because I have literally had, like, if I told you the shit some girls have said to me, you would think that like I've been dating some fucking idiots, right? This one girl that I dated, me and her were on a date and I ended up speaking about like two different things, but I ended up like saying, am I your usual type? Thinking, okay, it's like I'm fairly tall, I'm 6'1", I'm muscular, I'm confident, I'm more of like way more on the side of like alpha male than beta male. Like I'm not a very like soft kind of guy, like feminine, weak kind of guy. And she went, no, when I was in university, I was known for fucking black guys. Yeah, all the people who I stayed with in my flat, they knew me as the girl who just kept on getting fucked by black guys. Honey, what the fuck? What the hell? Who raised you? Keep your mouth shut, man. Like, think before you speak. Are you fucking brain dead? Like, some women and men, okay, some just people in general are so brain dead that they can't even spend like 0.1 seconds thinking before they say some bullshit like that. How is a man ever going to take you seriously after you say some shit like that? Now this is the thing. I'm not black. If I was black, I'd still find that weird as fuck, wouldn't you? Imagine if a girl, like whatever race you are, imagine if a girl just let that out of like, oh yeah, I was known of fucking either men of a different race to you, which is weird and fucked, or even men of the same race as you. If she said to me, oh, I was known for fucking Pakistani guys when I was in uni, I'd still find that cringe. Like, why would you say that? You fucking idiot. You absolutely stupid woman. Why would you ever fucking say that to a man that you're on a date with? That's fucking weird. And another time with the same girl, I asked her something like a sexy question of like, oh, have you ever been with a woman before, like sexually? And she went like, oh yeah. And I was like, okay, that's something, that's kind of fun, right? She went, oh yeah. So me and this other girl from my work, we went out with this other guy from my work and he fucked both of us. I was like, what the fuck, man? What the hell? Bro, some modern women are fucking demons of the night, man. And so they'll reveal themselves to you. Any woman who doesn't have any shred of class will instantly say some like out of pocket shit like this. When you know details about your woman, and especially if she said it as abrasively as that, you know that she is a low quality woman. You know that she's not classy. You can never take this woman around men who respect you. You can never take this woman around some sophisticated party or sophisticated social event. Imagine taking this woman as your woman next to men, like, when you're doing business with each other 10 years from now, you've become like a successful businessman. There's a guy there who you kind of look up to. He's with his respectable woman. He's got children with her. And your woman's there telling like his girl, like, oh yeah, so when I was young, black guys, like they used to run a train on me. Haha. So that's an extreme side, and not many women are that basically brain dead to be able to say that kind of shit, right? But there's a lot of women and guys as well, but obviously we're talking about dating women. There's a lot of just people who say some stupid shit, and you know why? Because they don't consistently meditate. They say something without even having a conscious thought, should I say this thing or not? I've realized, this is a weird separate point, but it's very important. I realize that the more I meditate, the more that my brain kind of tells me, oh yeah, don't say that. And I'm so surprised at how, like it's so, like this sounds so weird, but there's times when I would insult my girlfriend, like randomly insult her, but my brain tells me don't. And I'm like, if I didn't meditate this morning, I would have just said this insulting thing to her for no reason. Like this slightly insulting thing for no reason. It's like I caught my brain telling me like, oh yeah, you were about to say that, but you're not going to because we basically meditate. And I was like, how crazy is that? The people who don't meditate, people who spend all their time on the internet, people who don't journal and, basically spend time in slowness and in peace, they don't have this restraint. They just say some stupid shit. Now, I don't know if this has happened with you. I don't know if you asked her and it was like a rational conversation or if she just blurted it out. But women who blurt this kind of stuff out, personally for me, me, I'll never want to date again. I can't ever take a woman seriously who will ever tell me this. You know what's beautiful about my current relationship? I know nothing about her past. Nothing. She has been classy from the start. She has never once, like, I've sometimes randomly asked a question and she'll almost be taken aback and she'll be like, wait, do you really want to talk about that stuff? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, actually I don't. She's never accidentally brought it up, never once told me like, oh yeah, like the fucking previous girl, I used to suck black cock every weekend. What the fuck, man? What the hell? So I respect a woman who is like that. She could have had a sexual past. And that's in itself, it is quite disgusting for any man who loves her. But if she cannot talk about it, that means that she's actually kind of processed it and she doesn't need to think about it anymore. A woman who just blurts it out means that it's at the forefront of her mind. It means that when you're fucking her, she's probably thinking about someone else because she's just there ready to speak about this fucking thing that happened years ago that she still fantasizes about. In terms of actually, okay, so that was, people speaking about it. But in terms of you finding out about it, this is part of your value. So for David and for any other man, this is what I tell you. Don't listen to what the internet in general says, because you've got guys who are on the far side like I am. Like, I'm quite extreme with this. And I find this disgusting. I'll use these hard words. And I hope there's women watching this. There's like 2% of women who watch my videos of my audience. I hope they feel slightly like repulsed by me and offended by me using these harsh words. Stupid women, insulting women, brain dead women. I'd be saying the same thing about guys. If a guy said something, so like similar to a woman, I'd be calling him stupid, brain dead, whatever, because people need to be hit with this fucking reality check of like, why the fuck would you say something like this to the person who loves you? That's so stupid. It is genuinely like low intelligence. If there's a woman watching this who has done this, I hope she feels fucking disrespected and hurt by these mean words that I'm saying, because she needs like this reality check to be like, oh yeah, that was completely and utterly stupid how I treated that man who really liked me. I liked him too, and I just randomly told him about some other guy who fucked me. And that's when my partner started to act weird. That's when he started to distance himself from me. That's when he started to fuck me more aggressively without love. And our relationship broke down from that because you did it. Now, as a young man, when you know these details about your woman, it's very hard to move on. I'm telling you right now, I would have never moved on past this point with any woman. I've had times, like with my first ever girlfriend, I lost my virginity to her when I knew any details about her past. I never was able to move on. I needed to eventually break up. I went through months of gut-wrenching pain, finding the guys on Instagram. It's a crazy thing when you know like sexual details about your woman and you really love her. It's a crazy thing that you end up finding fucking everything. I found the exact guys that fucked her. I don't know why I was looking for this stuff. I was only 19, just like, didn't know much about the world, but I randomly ended up knowing who they were because I scoured her Instagram profile, saw which guy liked her picture at the particular point that she said that she had sex with some random guy. And do you know what I mean? And it was just such a mental disorder. And then this is the interesting thing, even when I became successful and I had high status, I genuinely had girls. I still have girls messaging me first on Instagram, randomly asking to meet me, to go on to dates, asking to like fly out and shit. Like when you've got like 100,000 fucking Instagram followers and 2 million followers and you look good and you're sexy and you're confident, women reach out to you. What I'm saying is, imagine I had an abundance. I had wealth. I had status. I was a high value man, like all these guys talk about. But even then, when a woman has told me sexual details, I still can't get over it because it's just part of being a biological man. If you like that woman, if you genuinely are falling in love with her, I don't believe you'll ever be able to move on from it. And the short answer is you're going to have to break up. I know you probably won't follow this advice for a while, but eventually when you do, you'll realize you probably should have just broken up a few months earlier. If you don't like this woman, let's say if this is a girl that you're casually fucking and she said this, then obviously you don't really care, but you wouldn't be asking this question if you did. If a girl's sexual past bothers you, I really can't think that you'll ever get to the point where it won't. You'll remember those details forever, and it's just gut-wrenching. And sometimes you can't take it seriously. And as much as some of these comments said, like, oh, what is it like right now? Are you and her good? Yeah, sure, that's a really important question. Problem is, if you can't like get over her past because it just grosses you out, and every time you have sex with her, you start to think of the other guys that have. When you click onto her Instagram. You're constantly looking for the Instagram guys who are liking a post and all this bullshit, bro. It's not a good position to be in. So if I was giving advice to my younger self, I'd tell him to leave the moment that a girl was stupid enough to spill some information about that she's like fucked other guys before me and told me which guys it was and how it was and what their dick size was and all this shit. So yours isn't as extreme as that, so you don't need to act in as an extreme way. But that's the advice I would give to my younger self. End it fucking soon, because it's literally a mental disorder to stay with a woman like this. Make sure you come and join our communities. They're both linked in the description. Scroll down right now, coach, click on the top link, and you can join the free version of this community where you can ask for advice and everything like that. That's called Adonis Gang. Go and do that right now. Love you. Mwah!